In the quiet village of Aguma, surrounded by thick forests and sacred groves, there lived a young woman named Mila. Unlike others, Mila didn't stand out because of her beauty, or voice, or wit. Mila was known for something far simpler, yet far more bewildering: her sleep. From the day she was born, she slept like the world outside her didn't matter. And as she grew older, sleep didn't loosen its grip. It deepened. At first, it was innocent. Then, it became worrying. Eventually, it became a burden. While other girls in Aguma learned to pound yam, wash clothes in the stream, or wake before sunrise for morning prayers, Mila remained under her wrapper, breathing softly, lost in dreams no one could enter. People called her many names, some cruel, some amused. Spirit wife, some said. The girl who sleeps through life, others muttered. But Mila, always laughing gently, replied, "Some people dance. Some people sing. I sleep. It's my gift." When she married Tundi, a kind and patient man with tired eyes and a generous heart, the village was half shocked, half curious. How long could a marriage like that last? But Tunde saw something in Mila no one else did. He believed, somehow, that under all that sleep, there was a woman waiting to wake up. And for a time he waited. But waiting is only noble until it becomes painful. Mila, now a wife, barely changed. She slept through prayer meetings, forgot pots on the fire, missed market days, and often left her baby crying beside her as she napped on the floor. Tunde, though gentle, began to crumble inside. And so did his mother, Mama Dayo, a woman as firm as the hills and sharp as pepper. She scolded Mila daily, begged her to take motherhood seriously, to stop hiding behind dreams. But nothing changed. Sleep, for Mila, wasn't a habit. It was a world of its own. In the same compound where Mila and Tunde lived, there also dwelled a man who rarely spoke, rarely smiled, but whose presence overshadowed everything like an ancient tree. Baba Kenji, Tunde's grandfather. No one truly knew his age. Some said he had lived for more than 130 years. Others whispered that he was already dead, walking by the strength of forbidden rituals. Baba Kenji had once been a feared Dibia, a spiritualist with gifts that bordered on terror. Chickens never crossed his path. Children were warned not to make eye contact with him. And when he passed by, even the wind changed direction. Baba Kenji had outlived wives, sons, and even the Dibia of neighboring villages. But instead of growing feeble, he seemed sharper, stronger. The elders in the village avoided talking about him. The young simply avoided him altogether. But oddly, Baba Kenji showed an unusual interest in Mila. While others criticized her sleep, he studied it, watched her, spoke to her softly. "Your soul is open when the world closes its eyes," he once told her. Mila, who had grown tired of being mocked, found his voice comforting. For the first time, someone made her feel that her sleep wasn't a flaw. It was a gift. But Tunde noticed the glances, the murmured words between his grandfather and his wife. One night, as he sat alone, he remembered an old story, how Baba Kenji, in his younger years, was rumored to have used the blood of kin to preserve his life. Everyone had dismissed it as folklore. But now, that memory crept back like a shadow. The true turning point came not from dreams, but from fire. One afternoon, while Tunde was at the farm, Mila slept as always. But this time she left a pot of oil boiling on the fire. Her baby, barely 1 year old, had crawled off the mat and was heading toward the hearth. It was a neighbor's scream that saved the child, pulling him back just before he reached the flame. When Tunde returned and heard what happened, something inside him broke. He didn't shout, he didn't cry. He just sat beside Mila and whispered, "You could have lost him. We could have lost everything." Mila looked down, shame prickling her eyes for the first time. That night, for the first time in years, she did not sleep. But the real awakening came days later, through a dream unlike any other. In this dream, Mila stood at the edge of a vast river of fire. Across the water was Baba Kenji, young, strong, glowing with strange light. Behind him stood dozens of shadowy figures, women and children, hands bound, eyes hollow. "You see now," he said to her, "I have never feared death. I've simply refused to give it anything that was mine. I've only taken what I created." Then he stepped into the fire. The shadows followed. Mila awoke screaming, sweat pouring down her face. Her child cried beside her. And standing silently in the doorway was Baba Kenji. He said nothing, just stared at her, his eyes like twin wells, and then slowly he smiled and walked away. From that day, Mila changed. She began to rise before dawn, prepare meals, clean the home, and sing softly to her baby. She prayed with Mama Dayo, apologized to Tunde, not with grand speeches but with consistent action. People in the village began to murmur again, but this time with surprise. "The sleeping girl is awake." But Baba Kenji was not pleased. One night, as Mila walked by the compound shrine, she saw something buried under the sand, a small leather pouch with markings. She brought it to Mama Dayo, who gasped in horror. "This is old magic," she whispered. "Blood magic." Obaro, a young spiritualist from a neighboring village, was called. He came, read the signs, and said the words no one wanted to hear. "He is preparing a transfer, a ritual of immortality. He needs a vessel." "A vessel?" Mila asked. Obaro looked at her. "He's chosen you." But just as they began preparing a protective ritual, something unexpected happened. Tunde disappeared, gone before dawn. No note, no sign of struggle. Only his sandals at the door and a single footprint, leading into the forest. Mila broke down. Her strength cracked. Her voice lost its steadiness. "I've finally woken up," she cried. "And now he's gone?" But Obaro placed a hand on her shoulder. "No," he said. "Now is when you must stay awake." Because the game had changed. This wasn't just about sleep or sacrifice anymore. This was war. And somewhere in the heart of the forest, Baba Kenji waited, smiling. And because the game had changed. This wasn't just about sleep or sacrifice anymore. This was war. And somewhere in the heart of the forest, Baba Kenji waited, smiling. So now, dear listener, the story pauses, but it's far from over. If your heart raced even just a little, if you found yourself holding your breath for Mila, then trust me, what comes next will shake the soul of Aguma itself. Make sure you follow this channel and turn on notifications, because in the next part, secrets will rise, the past will bleed into the present, and Mila will face a choice no woman should ever have to make. Thank you for staying with the story. Stay awake, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next chapter.